Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing a video today, and today's video is about this horrible announcement from Judas Priest and how they are talking about touring with one guitarist. And I'm just wondering what a clusterfuck that's going to be. Because for one, they were always known as a one guitar or two guitarist band, not a one guitarist band. They were never known as a one guitarist band. And it'll sound so hollow and empty with one guitarist, and I'm just wondering what is going on with this. Now, they've made some weird announcements in the past that turned out to be like kind of red herrings to symbolize something else. Like, for example, Jane Andrews, their manager, right before the reunion happened with Rob Halford, was saying all sorts of kind of weird things about we'll never reunite with Rob Halford, and like something. I just don't remember exactly what the actual terminology was, but just how it was like said, it seemed a little artificial, like the way that she was saying it to the media and all these sorts of things. So I'm thinking, is KK Downing on the verge of coming back to Judas Priest? I don't know if that's the case or what. Now, I've heard rumors that George Lynch, of all people, who is actually the father-in-law of Richie Faulkner, because I think Richie Faulkner is married to George Lynch's daughter, was expressing interest. It's just a rumor, and to me, that's actually would be really incredible. I love George Lynch and Dokken and stuff, so I'm like, wow, that would be really an amazing matchup, in my opinion. It would be interesting. The only thing bad about that is that George Lynch tends to do a lot of improvisations nowadays that kind of go nowhere sometimes live. So if he's like not learning some of the solos note by note, he might just wank over some parts, and it would sound like when Yannick Gers, well, a more stylized version of when Yannick Gers tries to do Adrian Smith solos and such. It's just like, or back in the day when Smith wasn't in the band, especially. So I'm just thinking this is a disaster, and I'm just thinking, what are they going to do? Are they going to play backup tapes live and try to defend it with some type of weird rationalization? And it doesn't, to me, it doesn't make any sense, and it's totally ludicrous, and it's like, Judas Priest are not a one guitar band, and never have been. Van Halen are a one guitar band. Dokken were a one guitar band. They do exist. That there are one guitar bands, and they sound good. I like a lot of one guitar bands, but two guitarists, and Priest is made to have two guitars because a lot of harmonies, a lot of parts that are kind of complementary parts. It's like if it would be even worse if Queensryche had one guitar, guitarist band, because they have parts that are like, they do like chord substitutions and stuff that go together, and harmonies and all these weird parallel harmonies and stuff, and it was like, it would be even more awful if they did it. But Priest does, at least close to some of those types of things where they're playing different stuff on different parts of the neck on the guitar, and even if it's the same note, it sounds thicker, and it's just, they're doing all sorts of stuff that they do. So it's just it's a ridiculous idea. I hope someone puts a kibosh on the idea, and I hope someone calls them out for this. It's just as bad. Let's say Paul Stanley actually came out and said that he's using backup tapes for Kiss for vocals. That's almost like it's just a dumb business move, with regards to saying, oh, we're going to have one guitarist. Why? Andy Sneap, I guess, is done with the band or whatever. I mean, he produced one of their albums. I don't know if he's going to produce the next one or not, but it's like, oh, you have one guitarist. What's going on with the Judas Priest camp? It's just so strange. It's like, it's basically a half cover band now, because you only have Ian Hill and Rob Halford that are semi-original members. I think Ian Hill is actually from the beginning, just like KK Downing was originally before he left. So I don't think this is not Judas Priest. It's like a half-ass version of Fight. Why not get one of those guys in there, or one of the guys from the Halford band? Why stick to one guitarist? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I know it's not like Rob Halford or any of the guys that are left in there are stupid. I mean, they know they're not dumb guys. I mean, they're professionals. They know they have good business acumen for the most part. Someone could argue that they missed out on a lot of things that they could have done, in the past. Like for example, being on the Top Gun soundtrack in the '80s and so forth. I still want to hear those Saw sessions, which is those stock Aitken and Waterman, the British pop producers did like 3 Judas Priest songs in the mid '80s, and they never released these songs. I think they're all like outside songwriters and covers. But I heard a clip of it. It's like some old Supreme song or something. It was incredible. I mean, back then with peak Rob Halford singing like this R&B stuff, it would be pretty fucking, and metalizing it with Priest, it would be incredible to hear. I wish they would release those. I wanted them to release that, but they never did. But yeah, it's a stupid decision. It's not gonna, and I mean, if they stick with it, I don't think, I sincerely doubt it's actually the final decision that they're making. They're just saying this right now to test the waters for something else. I don't know, because they seem to do that kind of stuff. These British metal managers and musicians are some of the weirdest people in the music business, and they put up with these weird ideas. They seem seemingly more than like American or other international musicians. Like for example, like just all these like songwriting things, and these session people that are never credited, like Black Sabbath albums and stuff. And like, I guess Kiss does it too. I mean, Kiss used to do that too, and now they got called out and caught red-handed for what they did over the years. I mean, one of the biggest scams in history is pretending Peter Criss played on an album and having his picture on there, or Ace for that matter. Some of the dumbest things. It turns you off of Kiss if you don't have an impartial like opinion about, all these guys are just douchebags, but I love the music so much I don't care. You have to separate the artist from the art from the artist. Same with a lot of their political proclamations over the past decade or so, regardless of what side it's from. It just gets really dumb, and it just I'm just like, oh yeah, Paul Stanley said something about, whatever. Oh, I don't give a shit. I'm just like, I love Kiss. I could separate the art from, Gene Simmons is an asshole, but he said that for years, so I don't really care. But yeah, Judas Priest, they need to get their shit together and get another guitarist for their tour. That doesn't make any sense. They're gonna play backing tapes or something. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. That's not metal to play with backing tapes. No, that doesn't mean it's. I mean, like if you have a synthwave or industrial project, you might have some backing tapes or something, or even industrial metal. But like a full-on 2-guitar band that was a 2-guitar band for 50 years is not in. And saying you're going to tour with one guitarist, that's not metal. How are they going to cover for all that? What are they going to play? I mean, how are they going to play? Or if they don't use backing tapes, it's going to sound empty. Just imagine, some of those dual runs or dual solos on anything, like it doesn't make any sense. I mean, yeah, to be fair, like classic Priest doesn't use as many harmonies as someone like Maiden, but it's still stupid, a foolish idea. It's such a stupid idea, and that's why I don't think it's real. I think they're going to do something different that they're not telling us. But if they don't, it's dumb and it's a bad business move. And Judas Priest is essentially done. I mean, unless Glenn Tipton can really like get his Parkinson's under control for a tour, I don't think it's, or they do get Glenn or KK back. It's a dumb move. That's about all.